And if it's a story for the ladies, it has to be a story about love and devotion. Straight out of Mills and Bourne, or if you're from the States, Danielle Steele. And it involves a Lord and Lady Nithsdale. Lord Nithsdale was a participant in the first Jacobite rebellion in 1715. He was captured fighting up in the north of England, brought to London and sentenced to death. Imprisoned in the room up there to the left of the council chamber, awaiting his execution. Well, on hearing of her husband's predicament, Lady Nithsdale travelled all the way from Scotland to London by horseback. Middle of winter. Snowing. Took her 14 days. 14 nights. Barefoot. Last we get a reaction. I thought you were romantic. I'm trying to build a sad story here. You should be going. That's better. My goodness, I nearly had to make her pregnant. She came all the way down here to petition the king for her husband's life. This was refused. Her only concession, she would be allowed to visit him daily till he was beheaded. Well, during the course of the visits, Lady Nithsdale conceived a plan. The plan being, she would always visit late in the day. By the time her visit was over, it was completely dark. She always brought with her a retinue of ladies in waiting. Then, on the very eve of his execution, Lord Nithsdale walked from that room, straight past the Yeoman Warder on duty outside the door, down the stairs, through the archway, out of the front gate, dressed as a lady in waiting, in spite of the fact he was over 6 foot tall and had a long red beard. The rest of the plan was this. All the ladies in waiting smuggled in extra pieces of clothing. Lord Nithsdale put the clothing on, scarf round his neck to hide his beard. Then, during the evening, all the ladies in waiting made a great fuss of coming and going, in and out of the room, eventually deceiving the warder on duty at the door as to how many were in or out of the room at any one time. And during one of these comings and goings, Lord Nithsdale, head bowed, pretending to be crying profusely, made his escape, followed shortly afterwards by the ladies in waiting. His wife remained behind longer by herself and further distracted the warder by holding a two-way conversation, disguising one voice as that of her husband's. Then, having given them all sufficient time to escape, she opened the door, shouted good night to her husband. She said good night to the Yeoman Warder, but told him, "Do not disturb my husband, he is saying his prayers and going straight to bed." She closed the door, and she too made her way from the tower. Both Lord and Lady made their separate ways to Rome, where they were reunited, and there they lived, happily ever after.